For PokerGaming.com, this is James Gwill. Event number 28 of the 2010 World Series of Poker was the 2500 Pot Limit Omaha event. This was the second Pot Limit Omaha bracelet event of the year, and 596 players turned out to take their shot at the bracelet and $315,311 in prize money. Day one saw many of the players that you would expect to play in this type of event, and among those in the field were David Uyett, Tom Dwan, TJ Cloutier, Jason Mercier, Bertrand Grospeller, Greg Raymer, and Phil Ivey. By the end of day one, only 102 players were left in the field, and these players were looking to make both the money and the final table of this event. Ultimately, 54 players made the money of this event, and among those were Chao Jiang, Scott Clements, Richard Ashby, Michael Binger, and Josh Keeman. TJ Cloutier made a deep run in this event and was going after another bracelet, but he ultimately finished in 38th place. 12 players finished day two and came back on day three to try to make a run at the final table and, of course, the bracelet. Patrick Hanoto started the final table as a chip leader, with Michael Perlix only 1,000 chips behind. Now, other players at the final table included L.J. Klein, George Ingles, Carl Gow, Trevor Pope, Michael Greco, Tommy Lee, and Stephane Taylor. Although it's spelled Stephanie, it's pronounced Stephane, because I was actually there taking pictures. He was the guy. And just to give you a little idea, Trevor Pope had quite a popular railing as Annette Oberstadt and other players were following him, and every time he'd win a pot, they would chant, Pope, 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 Pope. Unfortunately for Mr. Pope, he only finished in 7th place, so we didn't get to listen to those chants for very long. Now, ultimately, heads-up play would be between L.J. Klein and Miguel Perlix. Klein held a $2.775 million lead to the $1.695 million of Perlix. The stacks stayed pretty close to where they started at for a while, but then Perlix managed to take a chip lead after picking up a very nice pot on an all-in push on the turn. So whether or not Klein was bluffing at this point, or whether he felt that Perlix had the better hand, we'll never know. But at this point, Perlix led $2.5 million to $1.97 million when the final hand of the event took place. Klein raised to $125,000 from the button, and Perlix ended up making the call. On a flop of Jack 10-4, which happened to be all spades, by the way, Perlix checked to Klein, and he bet out $75,000. Perlix made the call, and the turn fell to 9 of diamonds. Perlix bet up $200,000 this time, and Klein made the call. On the river, the King of Hearts fell, and Perlix checked to Klein. This time, Klein moved all in, and Perlix insta-called the bet and turned over the Ace of Spades, 2 of Spades, Queen of Diamonds, and Queen of Hearts for the nut flush. Klein, unfortunately, had chose to move all in with 2 pair at this point at the river, and as a result, he ended up finishing in 2nd place, taking home $195,147. Miguel Perlix is the Event 28 champion. He takes home the gold bracelet and $315,311. For PokerGaming.com, this is James Gwill. For more, stay tuned to PokerGaming.com as we bring you more coverage and recaps from the 2010 World Series of Poker.